Welcome back. Now, for 8 years, South Africans have been able to contribute to a tax-free savings account. It was introduced to encourage a savings culture in South Africa. And although the uptake of this savings vehicle has been relatively good, many still do not quite grasp how it works. Personal finance guru Maya Fisher-French speaks to us now about this fantastic savings tool. So, Maya, good to have you as always. Thank you so much for your time. So, what do you think is then the greatest misconception when it comes to TFSA? That is, of course, a tax-free savings account.
I think that's exactly the misconception, is the word saving. People think of it as a savings account and not a long-term investment account. And I blame the name completely. Whoever came up with that name, it was a really bad name, because we also saw the banks right in the beginning coming out saying, open a tax-free savings account with us. These are just some more normal savings accounts. We're getting your interest on it. And as a result, we see a lot of people using it as an emergency fund. So they put money in, they take money out, but it actually completely undermines the purpose of the tax-free savings account, which is actually about long-term growth. You land up wasting your annual lifetime limits if you're putting money in and out. And also what a lot of people don't realize is that outside of a tax-free savings account, before these things even existed, you still could get 23,000 Rand a year of interest tax-free. So using this incredibly valuable tax exemption that you get on capital gains and dividends for interest, which you're really kind of getting mostly, is really a waste. Tumelo, when you have a look at the figures, if you invest in things like unit trusts or exchange traded funds, and you put your 3,000 Rand away a month, every month you put away 3,000 Rand. Over 15 years, you'll have over about R1 million invested, and more than half of that would actually be subject to capital gains tax. And of course, you would have paid dividend tax along the way. And that is where the tax-free savings account becomes so effective. And I think a lot of people just miss that and don't understand that.
So then what are the limits on how much you can actually contribute each year?
This is very important to realize as well, because if you contribute too much, you actually get taxed, bizarrely enough. But the big limit is 36,000. It's currently 36,000 Rand a year. You don't have to put in 36,000 Rand a year, but that's the most you can put in. So that's why we always talk about 3,000 Rand a month. We kind of divide that by 12. But you can't put in 36,000 Rand, take out 20 and put back in 20 in the same year. You can't put it back in again. And that's where I talk about this emergency fund being a problem. You can't, once you've put in 36,000 Rand, you've used your limit for the year. You can't add more for that year. And you also can't top up from the year before. So if, say, for example, this last year you only put in 20,000, 16,000 less than your annual limit, you can't next year say, oh, I'm going to put 36,000 plus the 16 I didn't put in. It's that really hard limit. And the other one really to keep in mind is the lifetime limit of 500,000 Rand. We're not there yet. We haven't been around long enough. It takes you about 15 years to get there. But that's another limit. And again, if you withdraw, you can't, it still falls into your lifetime limit. So if you withdraw 100,000, your lifetime limit has now effectively dropped to 400,000, if that makes sense. So this is not a product for putting money in and out of. It's to put it away. I see a lot of people using it very effectively for retirement planning, for example. And I would say that is more what a tax-free savings account is about than emergency funds.
Very insightful. Thank you so much, Maya, for always ensuring we make sound personal finance decisions. Personal finance guru Maya Fisher-French, thanks for your time.